Circle is one of my favorite community platforms for creators and online business owners. But did you know you can also use Circle as a course creation platform? Whether you're looking to add courses to your membership or sell courses with a community component, Circle is a powerful, user-friendly software worth considering. And in this tutorial, I'm excited to bring you behind the scenes to show you exactly how you can build your own courses in Circle. Plus, I'll recommend who this is a good fit for, who should skip it, and how Circle stacks up against competitors. Hey, I'm Melissa, and welcome back to Wit and Wire, where we help everyday experts become profitable course creators. If you're brand new to Circle, I have a full tutorial linked in the description where I walk through how to set up your community and get started. For today, if you want to start a new free trial, you can visit witandwire.com/circle, and we're going to jump right in and check out the course building features of their platform. Here's how you can add a course to your Circle community. Let's say you log into your admin dashboard, and if you've already gotten started with Circle, you may already have space groups and individual spaces on the left. So for example, Course Builders is a space group. And inside, I have different spaces or channels for students in that program. And there are different types of spaces you can create in Circle. So let's click the plus sign, and you can see add space. The first type is a post space. This is like a traditional forum, and course discussion is one example. We also have events. This is where you can schedule events that your students or members can RSVP. And then the type of space we're going to create is a course space type. In order to add a course in Circle, you're really just adding a new space along the sidebar. So I'm going to click course and then click next. And now we're going to give it a title. I am going to call this demo course. And if you click the icon, you can choose either an emoji or a shape. Maybe for today, we will choose this gradient. And it's up to you if you toggle this on or off. If you leave this on, it would add all members in that space group. And if, let's say you had a course, you might want to keep that on. I'm going to turn that off just because I am creating a demo, and click Create Space to get started. Next, let's customize the settings of your course in Circle. So on the left, you can see Demo Course, the new space we just added. And then on the top in this drop-down menu, I'm going to click Customize. This is where you could change the name or icon of your course or move it into a different space group. Later on, when you're ready to publish, you can see by default, new courses are always in draft mode. But when you publish it, most likely you'll either choose private or secret. Private means that members of your community could see that this space exists in their sidebar, but if they click it, they would see a lock screen. Secret means that it won't even appear in the sidebar unless that student or member is enrolled. So it's up to you to decide between these two. Then at the bottom, you have something called a space thumbnail. And in course vocabulary, we usually call this a course thumbnail. So I'm going to upload a stock image so that you can see where this would appear. You can either upload your own image, or you might want to search for a stock photo. I'm going to go ahead and select this photo just for our example. And I will click Save Changes to lock that in. Now, it's not immediately obvious where that thumbnail appears, but on the sidebar, if you click Courses, this is where students can see all of the courses that they have access to in your community. So they would see the thumbnail right here and click to access the curriculum. Let's head back to our demo course. And up next, let's talk about how to add sections and lessons to your course in Circle. So once you click into your course, you'll select Edit Lessons. And first, let's click Add a section. A section is a group of lessons. So I'm going to double click on this title, and maybe I will call this Welcome. And I'm going to go ahead and add another few sections. I'm going to call this Profitable Idea. And I'm going to pretend that I'm building out the sections in my own program, Course Builders. So the next two are course planning, and let's add one more. We'll call this Offer Packaging. So these represent the orientation and first three sections of Course Builders. Then what you'll do next is click Add Lesson. Let's double click the name, title this Welcome to Course Builders. Let's add one more example lesson. Maybe we'll call this How to Use This Course. And then let's add a few lessons to Profitable Idea. So you'll notice right now we're just outlining the curriculum. We're not fully adding any content yet. This looks good for now. And you'll notice that when you add new lessons in Circle, by default, they are in draft mode. They won't be published until you decide to publish those lessons in your curriculum. Next, it's time to edit lessons in your Circle course. So from your outline, you can click Edit Lesson by hovering over any individual lesson. This brings you into the lesson editor. And there are two halves. We have the left half of the screen, which is the sidebar, and then we have the lesson editor. In the sidebar, you have the option to publish the lesson when you're ready. You also have the option to disable the featured media area. Most lessons will have a video or perhaps audio as the featured media, but if you had a text-only lesson, you would want to disable that. You will most likely keep Make Downloadable unchecked. This means that you don't want the media to be downloadable, which is traditional for most online courses. Then you'll have the decision about enabling or disabling lesson comments. And because Circle is a community platform, you might want to enable comments in some or all of your lessons. It's up to you to decide strategically what makes sense. Next, let's talk about editing the lesson content. So in the main part of your screen, if you click below the featured media area and you click the / key, you'll notice there are a ton of different block types that you can add to your lesson in Circle. So if you're already familiar with their platform, this looks very similar to creating a post in Circle, but there are different basic blocks. They're typically text-based, like paragraphs, headers, or a divider. You can also scroll down further to upload images, files, or additional video content. Or you can also embed content in Circle, either using the main embed feature, or they do have some native specific integrations below. But I think this is one of Circle's biggest advantages. Their lessons are very customizable because they have so many different blocks and types that you can include in your course, which is great. I'm going to click backspace. And what I want to do next is focus on the featured media area and show you how to add video lessons in Circle. There are two ways you can add video to your Circle lessons. The first is by uploading, and the second is by embedding. Uploading is the traditional approach where you choose a file from your computer and then Circle will host that file in the cloud and show your students or members a video player. The other option is embedding a video if you host it elsewhere. So for example, a lot of Wit and Wire community members use Loom to record and edit their videos, and I'll link to a separate tutorial on Loom below. But if you're already using Loom, you might want to embed videos here rather than uploading them because it cuts out a step, and Loom also auto captions video for you, which I think is great for accessibility. Let me show you one of each. So first, let me upload a video, and I'm going to click choose a file and just find one for my computer. This just took a few seconds to upload, and you can already see what the player will look like, but I'm going to click save. And then I'm actually going to click View Lesson to show you a quick preview. This is what your student would see. They have a video player, and there are upgrades in Circle if you want to auto caption your videos on certain paid plans. But on all plans that do have courses, you'll see this player with the play button, the option to change the speed, and then students can enlarge it and watch full screen. I am going to click Edit this lesson to head back into our editor. And what I'm going to do is use these arrows, and I'm going to move to the next lesson. And in this case, I'm going to embed the video rather than uploading it. So first, let me pull up a video from my Loom account. Here's my Loom video. I'm going to go ahead and click copy link. And then back in Circle, I'll click upload or embed media, switch over to embed, and then just paste that here. This video is still hosted in Loom, but it's embedded and viewable by students now in this Circle course. So if I click save, what I can do is click View Lesson, and now we have an embeddable player, and students still have this video natively included in their Circle experience. It's just not hosted by Circle, which means it doesn't take up storage space. It has captions because Loom includes captions. So I would say there are pros and cons to both options. It's completely up to you to decide which strategy suits your course building needs. Let's head back to edit this lesson. And up next, I want to talk about adding downloadable resources to your curriculum. There are a few different ways you can add downloadables to your Circle course. So I'm going to talk about first how to add a PDF and then how to add Google Docs. So on the left, there is a side menu called Files, and you could add a file here. This isn't my preference though. Circle rolled out a newer feature, so I'm going to do both, and then you can choose your preference. So up first, I'm going to click Add File, and I'm going to add a PDF to this lesson. You can see the file uploaded on the left. But here's what I'm going to do next. In the lesson content area, I'm going to use the / key to bring up the menu, and you can actually just search for the word file or PDF. In this case, both will work. And if you just scroll down, you'll notice I'm looking in the Uploads section. So let's do a file, and I'm going to choose the same file here. This puts the PDF directly below the lesson, while this one is a little bit more hidden. I'm going to go ahead and click Save to show you where those appear. So let's click View Lesson. As you can see, this appears exactly the same way as it does in the admin editor. The PDF is directly below. They can click this to maximize it, and then they can download the file. The first way, where I uploaded the file, it actually puts it up here under the folder icon. And I didn't love this feature. I'm really glad that Circle has introduced a new option because I felt like it was pretty subtle and hard to find. So my recommendation is to use the block editor in the lesson content area to put your PDF below the lesson. Now let's click edit this lesson. Maybe instead of a PDF, you're actually working with Google Docs, and those are very easy to add. Maybe we'll actually just go to the next lesson. Let's say you had a workbook here and you wanted to add it. So mine is called the Profitable Course Workbook. And what you could do if you were using a Google Doc is just select this text and add it as a link. I'll go ahead and paste mine here, and I will click Save and then View Lesson to show you what this looks like. When your students click here, in my case, this is a Google Doc, and I've gone with the template preview view. Now you have different options to either add PDFs or other downloadable files, or you might choose to hyperlink files if they're either hosted in the cloud or if you're using Google Docs, which honestly is my preference because I find them a little bit more usable, at least for my students who are online business owners and who generally are familiar with or open to Google Docs. Now that we've added some lesson content, let's publish these lessons and preview the course as a student. So there are two ways you can publish lessons. The first is within the lesson editor. I'm going to publish this lesson, click Save, and then on the bottom, you want to make sure that the wheel finishes and you see the check mark before you exit the screen. That's one way. The other way is to go back to lessons and view the full outline, and you can easily go to this dropdown and change any of the lessons to published. Now remember, these two don't have any curriculum, but now at least we'll be able to see two different sections and then individual lessons. As a quick pro tip, as soon as you publish one lesson, the section name will appear. But as you'll see in the preview, because these two sections don't have any published lessons, they will be invisible to students until I publish at least one lesson. Let's click the X on the top right. This brings us back to the admin preview of the course. Here you can see on the left, demo course. That's what we're currently looking at, but this is not what a student would see. If you go to this drop-down menu, let's click View Course. And this gives you a preview of what the student experience would look like. So they would click Start Course, or they could click into an individual course. This is empty, not much to see. So let's skip ahead to the course lessons that we worked on. We added this lesson with the embedded video and the PDF, and then we have this second lesson with the embedded video and the workbook. So students can click through the outline on the side, they can complete the lesson, and work through the curriculum until they are finished. And they can access this anytime by going back to the spaces on the side or finding this under the courses menu. Let's also talk about comments versus post spaces. So Circle is a community platform, which might beg the question, what's the best way for students to interact with this course? And I think there are a few different options that I just wanted to share. In this course, if I go back to view the course, let's say students were watching the bridge theory. On the top right, because I did not disable comments, by default, every lesson has a comments area, and they're disabled just because this course hasn't been published. It's in draft mode, but you could have a comment thread going along on the side of this lesson. That could be a good fit. Or heading back here and heading out of this course. Instead, you might want to create individual spaces. For example, you might want to add a space and create a post space for dedicated discussion area. I don't think one way is better or worse. I think they just create different experiences and suit different courses differently. So I would just take a minute to decide which strategy suits you, or if you wanted to use a combo of both. But no matter what, just give students clear instructions, and that's really my best piece of advice. Similarly, if you want to add live calls, you can either edit lessons and add a lesson with instructions, or possibly additionally, you might want to add a section like I have, which is calendar and recordings, where I have all of the upcoming group coaching calls for course builders, and then I post the recordings from those events. So you can see how using a combination of spaces is often a great way to put a course together. Or if you have more of a membership model that has courses in it, maybe you would have a discussions space group and then a courses space group so that you could help your members differentiate where they're going to have discussions versus where they're going to learn. Let's also talk about the course's lock screen. So remember in the beginning, we talked about customizing the course. And if you decide that this is a private course, it means that there is still a visible lock screen to non-enrolled students. The reason you might want to do this is to encourage them to enroll with a call to action on that page. So it's up to you to decide. If it's private, then you need to adjust the lock screen. But if it's secret, there's really no need to customize the lock screen because the only students who will know about this course are the ones who have access. But let's go ahead and head into this menu and click Edit Lock Screen, just to show you your options. By default, they give you a few standard blocks, but you can use different settings along the side to customize that experience. So let's just go ahead and click on the banner and click the edit icon. You can change the banner. So maybe I would call this Course Builders, and then I would put maybe like a brief pitch here. You could say buy now or enroll here. And I would say that if you are customizing this page, I think it would be important to maybe mention that they don't currently have access, that they're not currently enrolled. So it's up to you to go through these blocks. There's not a ton that you can customize, but I thought it would be worth just showing off this experience so that you can see what it looks like. And then when you would be ready, you would click Save Changes. If you are using Circle's checkout, let's also talk about how to set up a paywall. So some of you might have a membership where students get access to courses because they're a member. Other business owners might be setting up courses that have a community component. So there are a few different places where you can access paywalls in Circle, including your settings at the top, heading into paywalls. That's typically where I go. Or in an individual course, you can go to the drop-down menu and access paywalls right here. You can see that I've already set up a demo paywall, and I'm going to edit this just to show you the options. So you can set the price point and the product name. You can also here add either monthly, biannual, daily, one-time fee. There's so many options. But if buyers are purchasing a course, most likely you're going to choose a one-time fee. But if these are members enrolling into a subscription, then likely you would choose one of these other options. So that's completely up to you. If you're interested in more on pricing strategy, leave me a comment and I'll consider that for a future video. For now, let's move over to access. So this describes which spaces buyers should unlock when they make this purchase. So let's say you have two different courses. It would make sense that you limit access, that if they join Course Builders, they get a certain set of space groups that I would want to include here. If they enroll in another program, they would get different access. So that's what this tab is about. And you can also customize what happens post-purchase. Most likely you'll send them to a thank you page and send a post-purchase email, but you might also want to integrate Circle with perhaps an email marketing platform if that's something you are familiar with. Again, I'm not going to get too in-depth into integrations today. We're really just focusing on the Circle side, but hopefully this helps. And I'll also add, you may or may not be using Circle to collect payments for this course. You might be using a separate checkout platform, but I do think it's just nice to know that there is the option to really use Circle as an all-in-one platform, not only for your community and your course creation, but also for the checkout experience. But now that you've seen the tools, you might still be wondering, is this a good fit for me? And how does Circle's course platform stack up against competitors? I would say that if you're already using Circle, this could be a great addition to your business because it could mean one less tool to deal with. You might not need another course platform. So if Circle is already a core part of your suite, it could be a good option worth exploring. It could also be a good fit for you if you know you want to sell memberships that have courses, or if you know that a community element of your online course or your program experience is a crucial piece and feature of what you hope to build. And let me just say, I don't think that community is a requirement for a lot of online courses. If you think about your ideal student, I would ask yourself, does having a community help them reach their goals more effectively? And does it meaningfully add to their experience? I wouldn't default to including community in your course. So I think that's a good question for you to consider if you're just getting started or if you're new to choosing your community and or your course platforms. In terms of comparison, you can actually download my full free guide, the Course Creation Toolkit, in the description or at witandwire.com/course toolkit. There, I offer a side-by-side comparison, and especially if you know there are certain features that are really important to you, I think that that free resource is going to be a huge help. But in general, I would say that Circle doesn't have quite as many specific analytics. You can see what percentage of the course different students have completed. So maybe I see that student A has finished 27% of the course, student B has finished 89% of the course. You do get a little bit of info, and for me, that is more than enough. I actually don't think that I need super in-depth analytics to see how well students are tracking because I also have other ways of engaging with students. For example, using some of those Circle community features like the post space or the comment space. Those are some of the ways that I can track how students are doing without necessarily seeing things like video view stats. To me, those just aren't quite as important. I will say that Circle is not a website building platform, nor is it an email marketing tool. So if you choose Circle, know that most likely you will need to have a website built on another platform. You'll most likely need to build a sales page on another platform because that's not an area where Circle has a ton of functionality. If you're using email marketing, Circle is also most likely not a fit for that. You can do the basics like sending a confirmation email, and your students can customize notifications in Circle based on their preferences. So they could choose to get alerts for different spaces, but it is certainly not an all-in-one platform. And if that's what you're looking for, I would recommend checking out the full course creation toolkit, the side-by-side comparison at witandwire.com/course toolkit. Overall, I think this is a great feature for community builders or course creators who know that community is a core part of their student experience. And if you are curious to check it out for yourself, you can visit witandwire.com/circle for a free 14-day trial. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. And here's another video I think you might enjoy.